Thanks everyone for taking a few minutes here to watch this video wherever you're at. I certainly know that everyone's time is very important, but I felt like there were a couple messages that we really needed everyone to get a chance to hear. We talked about using the Memorial Way, which is a very important communication vehicle for us, and I encourage each of you to read that at any time that you see a new one come out. But sometimes the messages are a little more complex. I would love to have done this in a coffee and conversation and given you a chance to ask questions and for us to have a more casual conversation, but I still know that only about 1 in 4 are able to get out to a coffee and conversation. And so if you'll bear with me over the next few minutes, I want to explain kind of where we're at year to date and talk a little bit about where we've been and where we're going. And certainly I hope to see you at a coffee and conversation coming up this spring. And if you have any questions, certainly as you see me or any of the team around the hospital, feel free to ask any follow-up questions. Let's go back to January a year ago in 2013, right at the conclusion of our 2012 fiscal year, and we began to talk about what it was going to take for us to be successful into the future. At that time, I showed you this graphic. And I said that if we continue on our path, we were going to have a good 2013, we were in good shape, but that we could begin to see, because of the Affordable Care Act and other changes on the horizon, we knew that if we didn't begin to change, we were going to see problems in the future. And so at the time I shared with you kind of this graphic that said this was our path forward. If we did nothing, if we just liked where we were at, this was the path that we were going to be on. And we would go from positive margins to negative margins in just a few years. So now I have the benefits of 18 months later sharing with you an updated version of that same graphic. We did have a positive 2013. It wasn't as good as we expected because some of the changes in the federal reimbursement began to happen more quickly and in a more pronounced way than we would have anticipated. And also, the impacts now of the Affordable Care Act are more visible to us, and I can tell you I think they're more severe as we look down the road. And so now more than ever, I need everyone's help to really begin to pull together so we can change this future, which would not be sustainable, into something that I think is much more favorable for our system. Let me focus everyone on the green line, because the green line is what I believe is a very achievable future. What it requires is the same recipe for success we talked about 18 months ago. We have to focus on our productivity. We have to keep our cost in line. We have to look typical of other hospitals. And so the first step, as I told you 18 months ago, and I'm going to tell you again today, is that we have to pull together. I know we're asking a lot of people. I know that the changes that we've made to staffing ratios and staffing grids to bring ourselves in line with other hospitals that look like us have been difficult for a lot of people. What it means to you as an individual, I know, is that in any given day, as we see our patient volume go up or down, that we have to staff to that volume. So we're asking people to either stay home or go home early at the end of the day, or otherwise we will again fall off and not be able to stay on the path that we need to be on. And so while I acknowledge that's a very difficult change for our organization, I'm here to tell you it's absolutely essential to our future. The other piece of our success going forward will be our continued growth. So I said 18 months ago that we could do this productivity without layoffs because I believe we had growth in front of us, and that's still a key to our success. We have refocused ourselves on our patient experience partly because we need to ensure that the patients want to choose to get their health care right here at the Memorial Health System. We have been enormously successful over the last several years, growing, seeing more and more patients choose our market. The new growth imperative that I want to talk about today is not just do we want all patients to choose the Memorial Health System in our region, which we do, but we have to make sure that we have a real partnership with our commercially insured patients. One of the changes that the Affordable Care Act did bring that we were not able to foresee so clearly a year and a half ago was that as employers have changed their deductibles, their employees now share a bigger and bigger part of our bills, and we're going to have to change our partnership with those commercially insured patients and with those employers to make sure our care remains affordable. Again, puts more pressure on our cost internally, but also on the business office relationship we have with those employers. So we're focused on all those things, continued productivity enhancements inside the hospital, a focus on our partnership with our commercially insured patients, and continued growth within our market. The things that you can do for us is understand the role you play and how important it is that we all respond to the volume that we have on any given day. And secondly, the service we provide has to be top in the nation. We have to continue to deliver a first-rate experience for all of our patients in order to keep them close to home for their care. If we can do these things, I'm certain we'll be successful. I think one of the things I wanted to accomplish as well with the time we had was to talk about a couple of the rumors that are floating around out there. First and foremost is the rumor that seems to never end, which is that we are either being bought or partnering with one of the larger academic institutions or tertiary systems. And the truth is, we are not, and nor do we want to have any of those conversations with any of the commercial or tertiary systems in our region. We believe that the best path forward, and I speak for our board as well as I think for the entire administrative team, our best path forward is as an independent community hospital making the best decisions for the people that live right here in Marietta from within our own community. And while at some point many hospitals may choose to have partners, and that may be the source of a lot of the rumors that we're hearing is hospitals all around us have, that is not the case for the Memorial Health System. We remain committed to our vision for an independent future. The other rumor, of course, is that we've had administrative changes, including myself. And I will tell you that I remain committed to this organization. I appreciate Bobby Howard, who's given us plenty of time as she contemplates her own retirement to work to begin to look for her successor. And so while there may be changes in the future, certainly, I can tell you that that is all of the changes that are being discussed today. And we certainly appreciate I appreciate the concern, and we appreciate everyone pulling together, both the administrative team and all of our employees, to make this the best health system that it can possibly be for our community. So I hope that helps set the context for some of the concerns that are moving around the hospital. I look for your partnership. I'm committed to our success, and I believe that we will be successful in this journey on the path. Thank you all very much.